Welcome to the FMWRC archives. They are housed at the Army Entertainment Division in a 10 by 20 foot wire cage that used to be filled with AED stuff, but the guys here at AED very graciously gave me this space and some cubicle space over in the office area of the warehouse to house the FMWRC archives. And Operations Support Directorate brought in, take a look at my filing cabinets, set up this incredible workbench for me. Nice clean spot, and more filing cabinets that go all the way around. And also covered, you can tell, the outside of the cage with plastic tarp. I love Army regulations. Okay, well, maybe not following them, but I love cataloging them and reading about them. And let me show you what I've been working on right now. Army circulars from the 1940s. Army circulars, 1950s. And as I come across them, Army regulations get their own file. So as the new ones, the ones that have been superseded, the old ones, everything will be filed in their proper area. Mobilization regulations. Ooh, let's take a look at this one. This is really cool. So what we're going to be looking at right now, let me put my gloves on, is an Army regulation known as a mobilization regulation. And what makes this really, really cool is that this is a mobilization regulation from March 5th, 1943, from World War II. And these mobilization regulations, 1-10, refer to morale, basic policies, major factors affecting morale, recreation and welfare, and special provisions, meaning what activities, how are they going to support morale to support the troops. And this particular document was found on a trip to Fort Indiantown Gap, an Army installation in Annville, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the two posters that happen to be in this particular folder. The first one that you can immediately see is a really great one dating from about 1968-1969. And it's Learn to Shoot Skeet Weeks, American and Olympic style. But one of the great things about this poster is that every time I see it, and I've shown it to other people, 68 to 69, the first James Bond movies were just coming out. And if you notice, we're going for a very James Bond look here. The folder that we're looking at right here is an acid-free, lignin-free folder with a polyester cover. Polyester, and let me explain this, is inert, meaning it doesn't chemically react with the ink and the paper and the glue that are on these posters. Now, I'm about to show you a second poster that's in here. There shouldn't be two posters in here. But because of space limitations and folder limitations, I've had to house two posters in one folder. And these posters are really great because they tell us what was popular in the 1960s, what they did, what activities they always enjoyed doing. And this is a ski poster, as you can tell. And what's also fun about these posters when you look at them from an art perspective is you can see the style and the colors that are used then are not necessarily what would be used today in the graphic arts world. What you see here is General Norman Schwarzkopf, the Canard Princess with troops standing in front of it, troops on board ship, and right here you have the actress Brooke Shields, Operation Desert Shield, Canard Princess, welcome aboard, and this is December 1990. General Schwarzkopf asked FMWRC, at the time CFSC, the Community Family Support Center, to arrange a cruise ship for the troops for their R&R in the Gulf during the war. A place where they could go, be secure, be safe, and not be concerned at any type of reprisals, retaliation, bombings. Remember, we had had Khobar Towers, we had had the bombs in the Marine Corps barracks, and he needed a safe place for the troops. So CFSC got them the Canard Princess. They got a huge cruise ship, sent it through the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal, the captain called and said, "I'm not going to make it, you need to make some calls." They made some calls, and the Egyptian government authorized the Canard Princess to jump the line in the Suez Canal to make it to the Gulf in time for Christmas Eve 1990. The Canard Princess was there, moored for 1 year, until the 23rd of December 1991. This is one of my favorite items in the FMWRC collection. When this arrived at the office in Alexandria, everyone in the office started taking bets because they figured it might be a giant crayon. Some people opted for an ironing board and wondering what could be historical about an ironing board because of the way it was wrapped. And as you can see, its shape does indeed remind you of an ironing board. But what this actually is, and I'm sure many of you who see this video will recognize it, this is the actual road sign from Germany directing travelers to the Patton Hotel. So I flipped it over because I wanted you to see what's on the back of the road sign. I want you to see the original, still attached, metal equipment that attached it to the road sign in Germany. We have some items donated, still in plastic. I am waiting on the appropriate housing, polyester batting, and boxes given by Mr. Nolan Denner. He was an Army entertainment director for many, many years. And this pile right here, where it says non-appropriated fund, was donated by Miss Carol Coons, who is now Mrs. Carol Williams, and she worked as an Army librarian for 13 years in West Germany from 1958 onward, and she very graciously donated to the archives her entire personnel file, which is really quite wonderful, including items that she kept from the flight over on Flying Tiger Airlines. This particular item was donated to the FMW archives by Mrs. Terry Condon, who worked as a Special Services Club Director in Vietnam from 1967 to 1968. What I'm showing you, donated by Mrs. Terry Condon from her time in Vietnam, are a pair of Viet Cong rubber sandals. Now, you're saying, it's rubber sandals, zippity-doo-dah. Well, the key is there in Viet Cong. These are enemy sandals at the time, and what makes them very interesting and very fascinating is you can see, of course, the wear and tear on the inside. Someone indeed did wear these quite some time, but they are made out of rubber tires. The same way today I have a pair of sneakers that use recycled rubber tires for the sole. The Viet Cong used these sandals, and she very, very graciously and kindly donated these, as you can see, to the FMWRC archives. I have shown them to the Center of Military History Museum Collections Chief, and he is quite anxious for them to be added to the Center for Military History collection, so that eventually, someday, these sandals might just be in the Army Museum at Fort Belvoir. I have a question, and I'm hoping you guys can help me with this, because you guys have been invaluable in your knowledge and experience so far in sharing it with me. What I'm looking for, you see these, I have a set, the Special Services Division History, and you can see it says Volume 1. Well, it goes all the way from Volume 1 to Volumes 11 and 12. I am missing certain volumes from this set, and I'm wondering if perhaps someone might have them. You can see why those 4 volumes are so important, because those give the history and the background of the current FMWRC and what it does. And I would really, really love to have those, because while I may never write the great book, the updated version on the Special Services Division history, someday someone will, and I would really like for them to have the complete set to work from. So check back, go to my Command Historian page on Facebook, become a friend, shoot me an email, stay in touch. Thanks a lot.